Okay, sorry I had to end the first video so short notice, but I was ending my time, and I don't like to go over 8 minutes, just to keep your attention per video. I was talking about Dwight, and I'm tired of his. We've learned something from this speech. He's used that with Nene. He's used that with Sheree now, and I feel like if he's going to go around and spread rumors and things like that, then he should come with something better than we've learned something from this, because you can't just blow it off like that. And I'm not a fan of confrontation either. So I'm not saying to get get smart with the females or nothing like that, but at least defend your cause. Like, he's not even defending himself, nor is he admitting to anything. He's just like, get over it. And it's just so funny because that's another show I'll do later on. The fact that we live in a get over it society. Feel like things happen to people and then get over them. That's why people are going to see psychiatrists now. The motto I was talking about, she's a serial engager, like serial monogamy, people who like to just get in and out of relationships and they can't commit. She is a serial engager because she's been engaged 3 times, and I guess this is the fourth time she's going to be proposed to by a 50-year-old man who's in her life right now. I'm not sure of her name. I'm not even sure of the man's name, but um, basically one of her main concerns is that she's just scared that she's going to give up her independence as a woman and as far as her career goes, and she doesn't want to be dependent on a man, you know. The lawyer Phaedra, her whole discipline conversation with her husband, I really sided with her. I believe kids should be disciplined, and sometimes with a whooping. I'm not saying beat your kids for every single thing, you know. But when they step out of line and they cross over that boundary with some malice intended, like they intended to disobey you, then you have to get them back in line, and especially if they're living in your household. How many people agree with that? Raise your hand if you agree with that. Right. Um, those mentors that came over when they had their little dinner. I'm not sure. It seemed like they came from like the church or something like that, like a deacon and his wife, and they're just mentoring them as far as relationship, counseling and things like that. But as far as their love language conversation they had, I feel like they provoked an argument between Phaedra and Paulo, her husband. But I mean, we have to continue to watch to get into them because not much has been revealed about their relationship and anything like that, other than their little conversation about how to discipline their child. Um, and that was it about the Housewives and stuff like that. Moving on to the Monique Show, which airs on the BET network, and it airs at 11 o'clock weekdays. And last night's show, Raven Simone, who was the child star who played on the Cosbys. Her name was Olivia on the Cosbys. She played on Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and now she has this show, That's So Raven, that I think was on Disney or Nickelodeon or something like that. She took a 2-year hiatus. She looked beautiful. That is a very beautiful young lady. She's in my age range, so when I get myself together. Oh, excuse me for wearing these hoodies, but I'm not up to par as far as the hair goes. Like, I'll even give you like a little peek. Yeah, see, that's not good. Anyways, back to Raven. Yeah, she looked nice. Her dress was spectacular. She was very curvaceous in that dress, and I like the way it fit her. And she's very articulate, if I might add myself. And she seems very humble. She described how everybody that's involved in the end result or project, whether it be a movie, TV show, you know what I'm saying, that you should take into account everybody who contributes, all the way down to the janitor who cleans up the studio. And it just spoke volumes about her character, that she's very humble, and I really appreciated that. And we need more people like that within the entertainment industry, instead of all these divas and you know people who feel like the world revolves around them. But I like to think that most people in entertainment industry aren't like that. We're starting to become more transparent, these days, with the emergence of reality TV, YouTube, and things like that. We're starting to see the real side of people, and people are letting us into their actual day-to-day lives. Another guy that was on her show was a guy named Ingo, I believe, who's from Nigeria, and he played in the movie Fat Girls with Monique a couple of years back, I think in 2006. And he's a boxer slash model slash actor. Once again from Nigeria, he's a Golden Glove champ 2 times, and he's over 30. What do you guys think about that? That takes like extreme discipline, endurance, and like training to win the Golden Gloves twice at the age of 30 and above. You know, he's over 30. And kudos to him for that. He had a very interesting Nigerian American accent, if that's a word. Um, I want to go somewhere and get an accent. I feel like people in Ohio, we don't have an accent. People from Southern Ohio, like Cincinnati, they talk a little Southern. But I mean, we don't really have an accent up here in Northern Ohio, Cleveland, and Toledo and stuff like that. Kareem Rush was also on Monique's show. He played for the Lakers. Um, he's not doing the R&B project. He wants to get into R&B, and he says he can sing, and that some of his teammates, Kobe, they all enjoy his singing, and so I'm looking forward to that. I didn't really catch the end of the show, and I'm not sure if he performed a selection, but usually her music guests, she interviewed those last. So maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but I'll have to take a look into it. And you guys keep an eye out too. Once again, his name is Kareem Rush. Okay, moving on to other news. Celebrity Apprentice. For anybody who gets into that show, the new season, Nene from Housewives. That's why I brought it up. Nene from Housewives is supposed to be on there along with Star Jones. What do you guys think about that? Like, would there be like a blow up with Nene and Star Jones, similar to Omarosa and Janice Dickinson? Maybe something to look forward to. Maybe drama. Latoya Jackson. Let's see some other people. Lil Jon, who don't let uh his Little John character fool you because he's highly educated, well versed, articulate, and smart and intelligent. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Dionne Warwick, if you guys remember her from the Psychic Hotline days, back in the days. It's going to be very interesting. And I'm not really a fan of that show, but it airs on NBC. I'm not sure what day or what time, but you guys can check it out yourself and see what it's about. T.I., who's going back to jail to do 11 months in prison for possession of controlled substances, i.e., marijuana, ecstasy, or what have you. And he was caught on September 3rd with all of that in possession. And, with all the stuff about his parole violation and all of that, whatever. Long story short, he's going back to prison for 11 months, and he was just released, what was it? March 26th. And he's going back in the same year. I don't know. Some people would say that the people in the hip hop industry are being targeted, but I don't know. I don't know. Who can call it? Up on hiphopdx.com, I found a quote from him. And I quote, I am not without flaw. One thing from my flaws that I have always done, I have accepted responsibility. It's a good quote. I mean, I feel like one should accept responsibility for their wrongs or what have you. You know, like Dwight would say. I think we've all learned something from this. But I want to leave Dwight alone, for he like sends people to come for me. Did y'all see his little public relations, his PR agent? I don't want them coming for me trying to, push me with a suitcase, a pillowcase over my head into a black SUV and I'll be missing. Um, and T.I., back on T.I., he was in the process of releasing a new album due to be released, sometime at the end of this year, called King Uncaged. But I guess that's going to be delayed now since he's not here to do that. Or he might just release it, during his stay in prison, just to keep himself relevant. Because I think that was a concern of his the first time he went to prison. He just didn't want people to forget about him. But we can't forget about you, T.I. T.I.P., come on. We're not going to forget about you. You've already, planted your foot right into the sand of hip hop. So, we know who you are and we'll continue to know who you are. And, you'll stay relevant as long as once you get out, you get on top of your game and you do continue to do what you was doing, which is make great music. Um, Speaking of hip hop rap artists being in prison, lWayne is getting out supposedly on November 5th, but there are allegedly some legal issues with his label, Young Money. Um, an Atlanta-based producer, Mally Boy, is filing a suit for copyright infringement for the song "Mrs. Officer," which Bobby Valentino did with Lil Wayne, and Mally Boy says that he composed that song, and so before Lil Wayne even gets to step foot out of the jail cell, he's going to be served with a federal summons. So we'll continue to follow that and see what's going on. But shout out to Young Money. They doing their thing, you know. So, I mean, they'll get through it. They're a big family. They'll get through it. Marijuana in ice cream. What is the world coming to? There's marijuana in ice cream. Like, I'm serious. There's a restaurant, Creme de Cana, somewhere in California that has three new flavors that are marijuana infused. Let me run them down to you: strawberry cheesecake, banana bis Foster, trip o fudge brownie, which is a take on the word trip. I mean, you know, back in the 60s when people used to drop acid and have these acid trips. But it's triple fudge brownie. And like I said, it's a restaurant, Creme de Cana, somewhere in California. But the only people who can access, you know, those flavors, I guess, would be those people who carry the medicinal marijuana user little card that you're issued in the state of California that states that you can use marijuana for medicinal purposes. And it's $15 a pint. I don't know what like the marijuana is equivalent to, but I hear it's not even like potent like street marijuana is. So it's like whatever. But I just thought that was interesting, don't you? Comment on that. Would you buy marijuana infused ice cream for those who smoke marijuana? And I know it's people who smoke marijuana, so we're not gonna get holier than thou. And you know, comment on all of that. That's all I have for you guys today. You know, watch Housewives on Monday. Um, it airs at 10 o'clock on Bravo. The Monique Show once again weekdays on BET at 11. And look out for Celebrity Apprentice. I'm definitely going to be watching. And pray for T.I., Lil Wayne, you know, in the midst of their struggles. Pray for them. And comment about that marijuana ice cream deal. What do you think about that? So, if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And I'll see you next episode. Bye.